for lack of better terms, a little ritual. I know he'll always, when he was working on his albums, he would wear Biggie chain. This Cuban with the Jesus piece, J.L. rocked that.
Inside sources say Jay-Z beefs up security and threat that retaliation from Beanie Sigel for dropping him from the label.
This was in the newspaper.
It's in the paper, it's public record.
After everything I've done for you, after always having your back, why wipe me out? After everything I've done for you, you gonna sit there with a life raft and watch me drown?
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
And let me tell you something. This isn't just your regular industry beef. This goes deeper than rap, deeper than business, and straight into the heart of what loyalty really means in this game. You know how Jay-Z always preached about Roc-a-Fella being this unbreakable brotherhood? How it was supposed to be this tight-knit family that would stick together through thick and thin? Well, darling, it seems like that was all just a carefully crafted fairy tale, because the reality is giving us major every man for himself energy. The timing of this couldn't be more perfect, especially with how Jay's been moving lately. Remember that whole situation with Diddy and how quick Jay was to distance himself when things got messy? It's like watching a masterclass in self-preservation, and honey, people are starting to see right through it.
Boys album. On that Rock Boys album, there's a song, Average Cat.
I ain't your average cat. Yeah.
Was that a Jay-Z diss record?
Come on, man, you know it was.
Now let me take you back to where this whole saga began, because child, this story has more layers than a wedding cake. Picture it, late 90s, early 2000s. Roc-a-Fella Records was absolutely dominating the game. Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and Kareem Biggs Burke were like the three kings of hip-hop, sitting on their thrones and watching their empire grow by the minute. Enter Beanie Sigel, this absolutely phenomenal talent straight out of Philadelphia. When I tell you this man brought the raw, unfiltered street energy that Roc-a-Fella was desperately missing, I mean he brought it. Jay-Z, with his impeccable business sense, or so we thought, recognized that spark immediately and signed Beanie faster than you can say Dynasty back in 1999. The magic happened almost instantly. When Beanie dropped The Truth in 2000, it wasn't just an album release, it was a moment. The critics were falling over themselves with praise, the streets were absolutely eating it up, and it looked like Beanie had found his forever home in the Roc-a-Fella family. The chemistry was undeniable, the success was astronomical, and everything
came up to the studio, and I stayed in the studio every day for I was driving back and forth from Philly, probably twice a week. I was bringing my bags, underclothes and all that stuff in the bag, in the truck, in the back of the Suburban. I stayed in the studio for 3 weeks straight, you know what I mean, almost a month. I mean, a month straight I was in the studio, and that's why I covered the Dynasty album so much, because I was there. And everything Jay was doing, I mean, I was right there beside him, and I was writing, you know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine the level of trust Beanie had in Jay back then? In 1998, when he put pen to paper and officially became part of the Roc-a-Fella roster, he genuinely believed Jay was the real deal, someone who would have his back through any storm, someone who understood the true meaning of loyalty. Oh, how appearances can be deceiving.
Roc-a-Fella Records was the only thing that I've ever been a part of that I thought was honest.
This is dope. This is ill. Yeah.
Really me for what it was. I ain't gonna lie, I'm from South Philly, so you know what I mean? Smile, hey, you know what I mean? Pray next to you, turn around, blow your head off.
You said smile, shake your hand, pray next to you, and blow your head off.
Yeah, all that vicious. That's where I come from.
Yeah.
Kill you, wash your body.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Pray.
Kill your son and fornicate with your daughter. Yeah, that's where I come from. That's the world that I lived in. So me being with Roc-a-Fella, the La Familia, I held on to that. It's like I got something, and you know what I mean? And it's like, and they don't want shit from me. They just want me to do this.
Right.
This music. They got me. And that's all I asked. You got me. That's where I came from. I never looked at me having a career. I never looked at the business. It was live familiar, live familiar, live familiar. We a family.
During those golden years, Beanie wasn't just another artist on the label. He was practically Jay's right-hand man. This man was out there making moves. The Roc-a-Fella State Property clothing line, that was Beanie's brainchild. The State Property movie, another Beanie masterpiece. He was simultaneously keeping it street real while showing serious entrepreneurial skills that would make any business school graduate jealous. The Roc-a-Fella roster was stacked with incredible talent. We're talking Kanye West, Memphis Bleak, Cameron, but Beanie? He was in a league of his own. He brought that authentic street credibility that gave Roc-a-Fella its edge, while also proving he had the business acumen to take things to the next level. But then, darling, everything started unraveling faster than a cheap sweater. By 2004, the cracks in the Roc-a-Fella Foundation weren't just showing, they were turning into full-blown canyons. Jay and Dame were locked in this intense power struggle over the label's direction, and poor Beanie found himself caught in the crossfire like a child watching their parents' marriage fall apart. When Jay finally made his power move and took control of Roc-a-Fella as part of his Def Jam deal, suddenly the hierarchy shifted dramatically. And guess who wasn't looking so precious anymore in Jay's eyes? That's right, the same Beanie who had been riding so hard for the label all those years. But hold on to your seats, because this is where the story takes an absolutely heartbreaking turn. In 2004, Beanie got hit with federal charges. Now, let's keep it completely real. Beanie wasn't exactly a choir boy. He had his street connections, and this wasn't his first dance with the law.
Right now I'm facing weapons violations, attempted. They try and get a boy 20 to 40 years. They came to me with a deal. Their deal was 18 to 36 years. Of course I turned it down. Thought this was America, people. Guilty until proven innocent, huh?
But here's what makes this situation so incredibly painful. When Beanie needed his family the most, when he was facing serious time behind bars, Jay-Z, Mr. I'm all about loyalty, completely disappeared. No court appearances, no prison visits, not even a simple phone call. The betrayal was so deep it could fill the Grand Canyon.
So at that time, when, I'm going to court, and we about to be on tour. We on tour. So
A whole nother tour.
Yeah, we on a whole nother tour. So, I'm going for my bail hearing in the feds. And the judge asked Jay, everybody's saying all these good things and all that. The character witnesses, Dame, and, everybody's saying, and even Jay said a whole lot of good things about me, and the judge was going to let me go. Monitor. And she said, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't have, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good and he said no. But it was like the way he said it, and he put his head down, he was like, no, I've never been crushed like that ever in my life. Cause I'm like, damn, this is my man, like and I looked at it like, all right, no. Nigga, what if I had to get the out of there? I'm in jail, I'm still tall, all my but what if I really needed to go? This was going to my mind.
Like, get out of jail, you say?
Bro, I had attempted in the state and the federal charge and all this shit. The 40 years is over. This is what I'm facing, 40 years.
Right.
What if in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if I really needed to roll? Be on a run and go. Like, I'm from this is my man and I love him. If he skipped up, Nigga, no, I'm getting my man, I'm getting him out by any means necessary. So for me to look him in his eyes and I'm shackled around the wrist, ankles and everything, and the man was like, no. Like that fucked me up. It took everything in me not to like let one go. Like that took away a lot of shit I thought that we had. Like that's big bro.
And here's the gag that really exposes everything. While Jay was playing Invisible Man, guess who showed up like a real one? Dame Dash. That's right. Dame was right there in court, standing tall beside Beanie, showing what true loyalty looks like. The contrast between these two responses tells you everything you need to know about who really live by those brotherhood principles they preached about.
Drove up here 5 in the morning, caught a flat.
We caught a flat in Dame's van on the turnpike.
We gotta wait for the spare to come.
We're running a little late. And I gotta get suited up, booted up. And you know, he is our brother, so we will be there to support him. Because at the Rock, we are a family.
Meanwhile, Jay was busy living his best life, dropping the Black Album and orchestrating this elaborate retirement, which, let's be honest, had about as much permanence as a temporary tattoo. Beanie saw right through it all. Here he was, having literally gone to war for Roc-a-Fella, having put his life on the line for the label, and Jay couldn't even send a text message? The disrespect was absolutely astronomical. By 2005, Roc-a-Fella Records was giving us serious ghost town vibes. Jay was out there living large as the president of Def Jam, while Dame and Biggs had moved on to explore other ventures. And Beanie, child, he was stuck in this terrible limbo. His third album, The Be Coming, should have been a game changer. Recorded while he was fighting for his freedom, it was raw, real, and absolutely incredible. But did it get the push it deserved? The promotion it needed? The support it warranted? Absolutely not. The tea gets even hotter because Beanie later revealed something that had everyone's jaws on the floor. Jay wasn't just ignoring him, he was actively blocking him from pursuing other opportunities. Can you imagine the audacity? Keeping someone tied to your label while treating them like last season's fashion? The shade of it all was enough to cause an eclipse. Everything finally came to a boiling point in 2009 when Beanie dropped "What You Talking About? I Ain't Your Average Cat," a diss track so scorching it could have melted steel. He laid everything bare, how Jay had used him for street credibility, then discarded him like yesterday's newspaper when he no longer served a purpose.
Well, Beanie Sigel is complaining a lot these days.
Well, he has a lot to complain about.
I know.
Not me.
Well, actually, this morning I just got a brand new interview. It's half an hour long, and he's talking basically about you, about the company, about basically how you didn't push him as much as, let's say, 50 Cent pushed some of his boys. How do you feel about that?
Well, Beanie Sigel at the time, and you can look it up if you like, just to be honest, was driving 2 Bentleys. I don't know how. It's impossible to drive 2 cars at one time. With his mama in the sticks and selling 800,000 records, I don't know what more can you do for somebody, at that point. What people choose to do when they attain that type of success, at some point you have to look in the mirror and look at yourself. Beanie Sigel had a record deal, a record label, and a clothing line. It never went platinum, ever. I don't know, in the history of rap, has anyone done so much with so little? So I don't even know what more can you do for a person at that point. A record label, a record deal, that's normal. A record label and a clothing line. So if that's not pushing the person,
And Jay's response? Pure corporate politics, darling. He just vaguely dismissed Beanie's claims in interviews, trying to spin this narrative that Beanie was just bitter and refusing to take responsibility for his own choices. The gaslighting was real. But here's where things get really interesting. This isn't just about Beanie's situation. When you start looking at Jay's track record, you start seeing a pattern that's more consistent than a heartbeat. Dame Dash, Kanye West, Memphis Bleak, They've all got stories that would make your hair stand on end. And now this whole Diddy situation, child, it's like watching history repeat itself. The absolute audacity of Jay denying his friendship with Diddy after that lawsuit dropped. There are literally receipts everywhere showing how close they were. We've got video after video of them acting like family, with Diddy literally calling Jay extended family, like they're part of some exclusive club.
Hits. This is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother. This B.I.G's brother. Yes, sir. This Brooklyn's own Brooklyn.
And if you thought that was shocking, wait until you hear this. Diddy actually spilled that Jay skipped his own daughter Blue Ivy's recital to perform at Bad Boy's 20th anniversary celebration. Now he's trying to act like they were just industry acquaintances. Make it make sense, honey, because right now the math isn't mathing.
Your homie's doing a lot of things, man. Most importantly, you know, he had a recital that he has to be at the blue. But I reached out to him, and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy celebrating 20 years of hits. And this is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs.
The receipts just keep piling up. During Diddy's 2023 carpool karaoke with James Corden, he straight up admitted that Jay-Z was one of the only people besides his own mother who gets to call him by his government name. That's not just friendship, that's an intimate bond that goes beyond business.
There's only one person. Oh, go on. And I call him Sean, that's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody else could call me Sean.
He's the only person who's Sean approved.
There's not a single person that
outside of family,
that should be outside of my mother.
Okay, just
that should be calling me. Yeah, they should be calling me Sean.
And the plot just keeps thickening. Right before Cassie's lawsuit dropped in November 2023, Diddy was receiving his BET Lifetime Achievement Award. And who did we see recording this heartfelt, emotional tribute? None other than Jay-Z himself. The timing is absolutely suspicious. Industry insiders are saying there's no way Jay didn't know about the lawsuit coming down the pipeline, which makes his tribute even more questionable.
Now Jay is saying, yo, this is not my man, which is kind of weird.
Right. They're saying
y'all you see him at mad parties together, but you look at it, right? Really think about it. Did he only go to them, to what's that? He have his brunch, he be having, right?
The Roc Nation brunch.
Did he go to that? You see Diddy go to that?
Yeah.
And Jay, and then Diddy will have an all-white party and Jay go to that.
Jay goes to that.
So it's like the same parties they go to.
Now Jay's defenders are out here working overtime, saying he did what he had to do, and it's not his responsibility to babysit grown men. But let's be completely honest with ourselves. This isn't about babysitting or hand-holding. This is about fundamental loyalty, about standing by the people who stood by you when you were climbing to the top. The list of people feeling used and discarded by Jay is longer than a CVS receipt. We're talking Big L, Jaz-O, Dame Dash, and even Kanye West, who didn't hesitate to call Jay out for being condescending. Each one of these relationships ended with the same pattern. People feeling like they were just stepping stones on Jay's path to bigger things. Let's keep it completely real for a moment. Maybe you don't get to billionaire status by playing nice and keeping everyone happy. Maybe there's some truth to the old saying that it's lonely at the top, but does that make it right? Is success worth burning every bridge you cross to get there? Are people wrong for calling Jay out on his cutthroat business moves and questioning his loyalty? The streets are talking, and they're saying Jay's got a PhD in throwing people under the bus when it comes to protecting his precious image and empire. But at what cost? How many more former friends and associates need to come forward before people start seeing the pattern? What's your take on all this drama between Beanie and Jay? Is Beanie justified in feeling betrayed by someone he considered a brother? Or is this just another case of business being business in the cutthroat music industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned because something tells me this story is far from over. The tea is still piping hot, and there's probably more where this came from.